Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a moment to become present. Find a nice, comfortable seated position where your spine and your back of your neck can sit nice and long and tall, opening up your chest and opening up your diaphragm and opening up your heart. Let's gently close our eyes and soften our thoughts. Soften our eyes. Soften our shoulders. And soften our heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes. For this morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on your mat and perhaps carry with you throughout the day. This morning's intention I'd like to talk about is Aparigraha. Aparigraha is the fifth Yama in Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga. Aparigraha is Sanskrit for non-attachment, non-possessiveness, and non-hoarding. Consider this quote from Deborah Adele, who wrote the book Yamas and Yamas. And although the Yamas and Yamas, Patanjali's been around 1,000 years, she wrote a book, I'm not even sure how long ago, say 20 years ago, just kind of giving examples of what the Yamas and Yamas are all about. And from her book, this quote, I think is wonderful. A bird cannot hold its perch and fly. Just think about that, the attachment. A bird cannot stay attached to that perch and fly. So that's kind of the spirit of this whole Yama, letting go. So our mind and our body and our spirit can become attached to things like possessions. This is a great time of thinking about those possessions and maybe doing a spring cleaning and decluttering. And there's so many studies that show that if you have a clean desk or clean house, it lightens you in a lot of ways. It's kind of the burden of possessions that kind of weigh us down. You could become attached to emotions. This one, in my notes, I had the quote from Ted Lasso show, which ended a couple of years ago, and his one of his mantras was to be a goldfish. He'd say that to his players: "Be a goldfish." Well, but evidently, goldfish don't have memories. So if they have a bad game, and the Red Sox right now can be thinking of this mantra, but if you have a bad game or bad outcome of something or something that didn't come out the way you want, just be a goldfish. Kind of forget about it, move on, let go, move on. And attachments can be with experiences and expectations. Sometimes we get so focused on what we're going toward, that we miss out on the journey of getting there. And those are even more rewarding than actually getting to the goal. So, like a bird, when we let go of our grasp on these things, we are free to fly. Aparigraha invites us to pack lightly for our journey through life, all the while caring deeply and enjoying life fully. And continuing on with Deborah Adele's quotes, pranayama, for our pranayama session today, breathing technique, we're going to do a Vishama Vritti. And I'd like to quote from her again. The simple act of inhaling and exhaling teaches us about the fullness of breath in life, or the fullness of breathing in life, without the need to hold on to it. So again, in order for us to survive, we have to inhale, not hold on to it. We need to let go, exhale. So this Vishama Vritti pranayama emphasizes the act of letting go. And it does that by extending the exhale. So when we get on our mat, we're going to have one of our asanas with this pranayama. And we're going to inhale and then have an extended exhale. So before we do that, we'll go to the mat and do a brief meditation. There is a mudra called Kshepana, and it helps you to let go of things which no longer serve you. And to do that, you put your hands together, interlace your fingers, keeping your index finger up, pointing up above, and bringing that to your heart center. So it's kind of like Anjali Mudra, but you're interlacing your fingers, keeping the index fingers extended upward. And again, if you'd like to do an affirmation along with your mudra, or just the affirmation, or just the mudra, here's the affirmation. I choose to let go of what no longer serves me, making space for growth and joy. I choose to let go of what no longer serves me, making space for growth and joy. Oh, chew on it. Chew on that. Voila. Oscar, voila. We can begin our asana. Again, we're going to be doing the pranayama, where we're going to extend our exhale. So if you bring your fingertips to the mat, and we'll inhale, bringing them up and overhead. And then slowly on the exhale, just kind of lowering the hands down and really having that exhale go as long as what's comfortable for you. And then opening up on the inhale. And then exhale slowly, extending that exhale. Then inhale up. And slowly and with length, exhale. Feeling that letting go. And I love that affirmation, letting go of something that no longer serves you. It could be an emotion, it could be a possession. Inhaling up. Exhale down, nice and slow and long. Inhale, open. And exhale slowly, bringing your hands back together. Inhale up. And exhale down. And one last time. Inhale up. And exhale slowly. Bring your hands down. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale up. And exhale down. Really letting go. Alrighty, and we'll move on to some seated side stretches and put my right fingertips down, bring my left arm up alongside of my ear. And then with my right elbow, I'm going to bring that down toward the mat, tipping my torso over to the right. And then bringing back up again. And we'll do that one more time to the right. So bringing the elbow down toward the mat, tipping the torso over to the right. And then back up again. And bring the left fingertips down, and we'll bring the right arm up alongside the ear. And then we'll tip, or first bring that left elbow down toward the mat, and then tip our torso over to the left. And then back up again. And one last time to the left. Fingertips on the mat, left elbow comes down toward the mat, tipping the torso over to the left. And then back up again. And we'll extend the right leg out and take the left knee, bring it up to the sky. We're going to take our right arm first and wrap it around the left knee, sending the left fingertips behind us, twisting our torso to the left. And then we'll just take our left arm, wrap it around our left leg, and bring our right fingertips behind our hips, twisting our torso to the right. And then bringing the right arm back again, wrapping it around the left leg. Left fingertips go behind us, twisting our torso to the right. And then again with the left arm, wrapping the left arm around, bringing the right fingertips behind our hips, twisting to the right. And then bringing ourselves back to center, we're going to switch legs. So the left leg goes straight out, right leg comes up. We'll take the left arm, wrap it around the right leg, bringing the right fingertips behind us. And then taking the right arm, wrapping it around the right leg, bringing the left fingertips behind us, twisting our torso to the left. And bringing the left arm again, wrapping it around the right leg, twisting to the right. And taking the right arm, wrapping it around the right leg, left fingertips come behind you, twisting our torso to the left. And coming back to center. And we're gonna come up onto our hands and knees into tabletop. And you can remain seated if that's more comfortable for you. We'll do some head turns and some cat-cows. With the tabletop, your wrists are right below your shoulders, knees right below your hips, navel's tucked to the spine. We're really making sure that we have equal distribution of weight in our hands, gently pushing our hands down to create space between our shoulders and our ears. And then taking our gaze down, we're going to then take our nose and move it to the right. And then back to center and then to the left. And back to center. And back to the right. And back to center. And over to the left. Nice gentle flow, back to center, over to the right, back to center, and last time over to the left, and back to center. And going into cat-cow, we'll round our back on the exhale, dropping the tailbone and the head down. And then inhale, lifting the head and tailbone up, sending the gaze straight ahead for cow. And then exhaling again, rounding the back. Head drops, tailbone drops for cat. We're really stretching out the spine here. And then lifting up our head and tailbone, sending our gaze straight ahead. We have that nice little arch for cow. And then gently continue your inhales and exhales, synchronizing your body to your breath. And you can extend your exhale if you like. Do a few more of these. And then we'll come back to tabletop. We'll bring both knees together so that they're right below your hips, but in the middle. And then we'll extend the right foot out. Again, check on your hands, see if your weight's evenly distributed in them. And then we're just going to lift our leg up and down. So I'm going to start with 10 and we'll go to 1. So 10, lifting up, bringing it back down. 9, lifting up, bringing it back down. 8, and then 7, 6, 5, and then 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And bring the knee back to the mat. And you can kind of wiggle your hands. We'll do that on the other side. So extending your left leg. We'll start with 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knee back. And then we'll bring our hips down to our ankles, extending our hands forward for child's pose. And just really feel that stretch in your arms and your shoulders and your back. And then we'll come back up to tabletop, tuck our toes underneath, and walk our hands back so that we're on our balls of our feet, ready to come up to mountain pose. Bringing our toes so that they're in line with the straight edge of the mat. We'll lift our toes up and then bring the toes back down, lifting the heels up and then bringing the heels back down. Really feeling that connection to the earth, that earth supporting us. Coming into mountain pose, which is also the essentials of good posture. We're going to have our legs nice and straight and strong with a gentle flex in the knees. Navel's tucked to the spine. Spine in the back of the neck, sit nice and long and tall. Opening up our chest. Relaxing our shoulders back. Chin comes tucked in ever so slightly to help create that nice long line with our back of our neck. And then the crown of our head reaches to the sky. And then we'll reach to the sky with a big inhale. And then exhale, bringing our hands down to the mat, bending our knees as we go, support our lower back. And then hands come to the shins, nice flat back and long neck, half forward fold. And then dropping the crown of our head down toward the mat. And then sweeping the hands all the way up, bringing them overhead. And as we bring them up overhead, we're going to come up onto our tippy toes. Stretching our hands toward the sky. And then as we bring our hands down, we'll just lower our heels back down to the mat. We'll do that really slowly, really letting go. So inhaling up again, coming up onto our tippy toes. And then slowly coming back down. Lowering our heels ever so slowly. Really giving control of our body, strengthening our feet. And sweeping one last time up again, coming up onto the tippy toes. And then slowly down. And then we'll bring our hands all the way down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. Hands then come to the shins, nice flat back for half forward fold. Bending the crown of our head down toward the mat. And then we're going to while we're here down with our crown down toward the mat, we're going to put our left hand in front of our left foot and then bend our left knee toward our left arm, keeping our left leg somewhat straight. Always have that little bit of flex in your knee. And then sweep your right hand all the way up to the sky. And you can follow it with your gaze. And then bringing that right hand back down again. And we'll switch places. So the right hand comes in front of the right foot. The right knee is bent toward the right arm. Left leg is somewhat straight. Again, a little bit of flex in the knee. And then sweeping the left hand all the way up to the sky. And then bringing that left hand back down slowly. And then sweeping our hands all the way up overhead. Bringing our hands together. And palms come together and come down to our heart center. And then we're going to turn so that I'm on my mat. We're just going to start with our right foot back behind us and lift our arms to the sky. And then bring the foot back, bringing the arms down. We'll do that with the other foot, just extending the left foot behind us, landing on the ball, extending the arms up to the sky, and then back down again. Lifting the arms up, extending the right foot back. This time, we'll just keep alternating feet. And then coming back down, nice even flow. Lifting the arms up, extending the left foot back, and then bringing the feet back together again. Right foot goes back, and coming back down. Left foot goes back, coming back down. Right foot comes back, coming back down. Left foot goes back. One last time, the right foot will go back. And then one last time, the left foot will go back. Alrighty. And then we'll bring the hands down to the mat again, bending our knees as we go. Hands come to the shins, nice flat back. And then the crown of our head comes down toward the mat. And sweeping our hands all the way up overhead. Palms come together. Palms come to heart center. And palms come to the back of our hips. The palms on the back of our hips, fingertips pointing down. We're going to relax our shoulders, rolling them back. Tucking our chin toward our chest. We'll just then tip the shoulders back. Come into supported back bend. Just to the point of that sweet spot. And it could be different every single time you do it. But just check in with your breath. Make sure that it's flowing nice and evenly. With good strength. Not being too shallow. And then we'll come back up. Well done. Moving right along. We'll sweep our hands up overhead. Big inhale, and then bring our hands down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. We extend the right foot back, coming into runner's lunge. With the right hand on the mat, we're going to sweep our left hand up to the sky. And then bring it back down again. And then we'll bring our left foot back to join the right foot, coming into plank pose. Wrists are right above or right below the shoulders. Knees and heels are toward the back of the mat. Hips are elevated slightly so there's no saggy tummy. And then we'll slowly come down to the mat, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. And once you've landed, bring your arms alongside, the palms facing up, and your chin is on the mat. We're just hovering above the mat. And we'll lift the right leg up and set it down. Again, the right leg goes up. We're not going to do 10, don't worry. And come back down. And the last time, the right leg comes up and comes back down. Bring your hands right below your shoulders onto the mat. And then we're going to lift our chin and chest up, pushing into our hands, come into cobra. And then we'll push our hands, continue coming up to tabletop, and then down to child's pose. Heels come, or hips come to the heels, arms are extended out front. And then we'll come back up to tabletop, excuse me, and tuck our toes under, lifting our hips up to the sky, and come into downward dog. And we'll just walk our dog here for a moment. And then lifting the right foot up to the sky, and then setting it back down again. We'll do this 2 more times. And then lifting it up to the sky, and setting it back down. And then one last time, lifting it up to the sky and setting it back down. And then we're going to bring that right foot between our hands, coming into runner's lunge. And we'll pivot the back foot down, sweep the hands up to the sky, and then we'll sweep them back down while we straighten our front leg out. And just sweep them to the back, kind of creating a bird on a limb, if you will. And then we'll sweep them back up, bending the knee, the front knee up, and then back, bringing the hands back down and sweeping them behind you while you straighten your front leg. And then we'll do that a couple more times, sweeping hands up, bending the knee forward, and then sweeping the hands back, straightening up the leg, and sweeping the hands up, bending the knee, and then sweeping the hands back, straightening the knee. And one more sweep up, bending the knee. And then we're going to bring our hands back down to the mat. Bringing our right foot back to join the left foot. And coming down, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to the mat. And then this time, bringing the arms alongside, palms facing up. With the chin lifted slightly off the mat, we're going to lift both the arms and the legs up. And flying freely through the sky, and then bringing them back down. We'll bring the hands right under the shoulders again. Elbows tucked toward the ribs. Lifting the chin and chest up, coming into cobra. And then up to tabletop and back down to child's pose. And then back up to tabletop and lifting your hips up to the sky again, come into downward dog. And we'll walk the dog. And then slowly walking the feet up to your hands. We'll come into forward fold. And then sweeping the hands all the way up to the sky. Palms come together. And then palms come to heart center. And we'll go into warrior three. I'm going to have my left foot on the mat. And I'll be lifting the right leg up. So I'm going to start with the left leg having a little bend in the knee. And then lifting the right leg up so the foot's off the mat. And then pivoting my waist, sending the right foot back, sending the arms back in airplane mode or bird-like fashion. Finding that drishti. Whoop. Second I say find that drishti, like whoop. Woo. All right. A little wobbly bird today. Must be blown around with the wind. All right, we'll do that all again on the other side. So sweeping our hands all the way up overhead. Palms come down to the mat. Bending our knees as we go. Extending the left leg back. And then planting the left hand down, sweeping the right hand up to the sky. And then back down again. Planting the hands on the mat. We'll bring the right foot back to join the left foot. Coming into plank pose. And then lowering down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. And bringing our arms alongside of us. Palms facing up. We'll lift our left leg up. And then set it back down again. 2 more times, lifting it up. And then setting it back down. And one last time, lift it up. Set it back down. Then bringing the hands right below the shoulders. Elbows tucked to the ribs. Lifting the chin and chest. And then pushing down the hands, come into cobra. And then keep pushing, coming to tabletop. And then down to child's pose. And then we'll come back up again to tabletop. And then tuck our toes under, lift our hips up to the sky into downward dog. We'll pedal out here for a moment. And then we're going to lift the left leg up to the sky and bringing it back down, pedal out. And again, lift it up to the sky. And then bringing it back down and pedal out. And one last time, lifting the left foot up to the sky. And then bringing it back down and pedal out. And then we're going to bring the left foot between the hands, coming into runner's lunge. And then pivot the back foot down, sweeping the hands up to the sky. With our leg, front knee bent, arms are up. And then we're going to sweep our arms down and in back of us, airplane arms, while we straighten our front leg. And then sweep back up again, bending the front knee. And then down, sweeping the hands down and back, straightening the front leg. And then sweeping up again, bending the front knee. And then sweeping down again, straighten the front leg. And one last time, sweeping the hands up while you're bending the front knee. And then bringing both hands back down to the mat. We'll bring the left foot back to join the right foot, coming into plank pose. And then lowering down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Bringing your arms alongside of you, the palms facing up. You're going to lift both hands and feet up off the mat. Soar through the sky for a moment. And then bring them back down again. And then bring our hands right below our shoulders. Lifting our chin and chest up. Pushing into our hands, coming up into cobra. And then pushing more to get to tabletop. And then bringing your hips down to your ankles for child's pose. And then back up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up to the sky for downward dog. We'll cuddle out here for a moment. And then slowly walk our feet up to our hands, coming into forward fold. And then sweep our hands all the way up overhead. Palms come together. And palms come down to heart center. And we'll do warrior 3 / airplane / flying bird. One more time. So with our right leg nice and stable and planted in the mat, we'll lift our left leg up, pivot our waist and send the left leg behind us, sending our arms behind us in airplane mode, finding that drishti in front of us. And then landing. Well done, everyone. And we'll bring our pinky toes to the edge of the mat. Heels are tucked in 45 degrees. Hands come to heart center. We'll slowly lower our hips down to the mat, coming into a wide-legged squat. Elbows are resting on the inner part of our knees. And then we'll set our sit bones onto the mat. And then we'll roll back. And you can use whichever method, knees bent, knees straight. Express method with the hands tucked under, roll back quickly. I'm going to keep my knees bent today. And then slowly lower. So I can feel the connection of each vertebrae with the mat. And I'll bring the knees to the chest. Give them a nice hug. Rock back and forth. Massage the lower back. You can make big circles if you like. And then we'll place the feet on the mat. And we'll do a few windshield wipers. So bringing your arms alongside of you, maybe out at an angle, palms down. And we'll lower the knees to one side. And just your hands to feel supported. Then lifting them back up, we'll lower them to the other side. And then just go at your own pace for a few moments, making that windshield wiper movement. Keeping your shoulders on the mat. Keeping your spine in line with the mat. And then just a few more. And then bringing your knees back to center, we'll send our feet down to the bottom of the mat, preparing for Shavasana. Setting the heels to each corner, let the feet flop open. And just relax your body, letting the shoulders just sink into the mat, letting your body just sink into the mat. And then just think of anything you'd like to let go. You could place it in a cloud. On a nice breezy day, you see that worry or that thing you want to let go of, go into the cloud and let it drift away. And I have a poem for you this morning by Dana Faulds, and it's perfect for today's intention of Aparigraha. The title is Let It Go. Let go of the ways you thought life would unfold, the holding of plans or dreams or expectations. Let it all go. Save your strength to swim with the tide. The choice to fight what is here before you now will only result in struggle, fear, and desperate attempts to flee from the very energy you long for. Let go. Let it all go and flow with the grace that washes through your days, whether you receive it gently or with all your quills raised to defend against invaders. Take this on faith. The mind may never find the explanations that it seeks, but you will move forward nonetheless. Let go, and the wave's crest will carry you to unknown shores, beyond your wildest dreams or destinations. Let it all go and find the place of rest and peace and certain transformation.